Section: Introduction. In this section, we discuss the rapid development of large language models, LLMs, and their impact on text generation and human-computer interaction. These models are now essential in various fields, including customer service, content creation, and personalized communication. Recent improvements in LLMs show promise for boosting productivity in business applications, such as customer interactions and content generation. They can also craft persuasive messages and engage in personalized conversations that may influence beliefs. Understanding how people perceive AI-generated responses is crucial for the successful integration of these technologies in both business and social contexts. As LLMs produce text that closely resembles human writing in terms of fluency and coherence, it becomes increasingly difficult to tell the difference between the two. Previous studies have identified differences in language features and sentiment between human and AI texts, noting that the perceived quality of responses can change based on whether the source is revealed. This is particularly significant in situations where trust is vital, like customer service or public communications. Many existing studies focus on specific topics, such as health or public announcements, often overlooking general interest texts. Our research aims to explore how responses to popular questions on platforms like Quora and Stack Overflow are perceived when they come from either a human or an LLM. We analyze these perceptions across various fields, including physical sciences, life sciences, health sciences, social sciences, and humanities, using a diverse set of popular questions. We also consider respondent characteristics like gender, age, education, and programming skills to better understand the factors influencing trust and preference in content generation. In our literature review, we highlight recent research that has examined the differences between human and AI-generated texts, revealing variations in sentence structure, emotional expression, and other linguistic features. Early studies showed that traditional machine learning classifiers could distinguish between the two, but the rise of advanced LLMs has complicated this task. In some cases, AI-generated texts have matched or surpassed human-written content in areas like persuasive messaging and educational feedback. As LLMs become more sophisticated, they produce text that mimics human writing styles and adheres to the subtleties of language and context. However, evaluations of LLM-generated text detectors have shown inconsistencies and high false positive rates when applied to human texts. Additionally, biases in AI-generated content have been documented, including gender and racial biases, particularly in representations of healthcare professionals. Political biases have also been noted, with some models leaning toward specific perspectives. For our data collection, we focus on popular questions that appeal to a broad audience. We analyze questions from Quora and Stack Overflow, categorizing them into 5 scientific areas to ensure balanced representation. We select 5 questions from each area, totaling 25 questions, and pose them to 4 leading LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and Llama, alongside 1 human response for each question. We created a survey where participants randomly receive 5 questions, each with 2 responses, 1 from an LLM and 1 from a human. Participants provide demographic information and are informed they will choose between 2 responses for each question. To reduce biases, some participants are not told the source of the responses. Our study, registered with the Social Science Registry, involved 993 participants, with 846 completing the survey after excluding those who did not respond. Participants were compensated for their time, and the demographic breakdown includes 35% male and 45% female, with an average age of 30 years. Detailed statistics are available in the appendix. Section Summary. In this section, we explore the transformative impact of large language models, LLMs, on text generation and human-computer interaction, highlighting their applications in various fields and the challenges in distinguishing AI-generated content from human writing. We also outline our study's methodology, which involves analyzing responses to popular questions from platforms like Quora and Stack Overflow, while considering participant demographics to understand trust and preference in content generation. Section: Estimation Strategy. In this section, we examine whether individuals prefer answers generated by humans or AI based on their awareness of the source. We used logistic regression analysis, restructuring our dataset to focus on respondent answer pairs. We created a dummy variable called human, which is set to 1 if the respondent chose the human-generated answer, making it our dependent variable. Our main independent variable is aware, which indicates if the respondent knows the source of the answer. The coefficient for aware shows how knowledge of the source affects the likelihood of selecting a human-generated response. We also included characteristics of the respondents, such as gender, age, education level, field of study, and programming skills, along with the survey duration and question field. To ensure our results were reliable, we clustered the standard errors by gender and added interaction terms with gender, programming skills, and question field to explore varying effects. For our exploratory analysis, we conducted a graphical examination to identify factors influencing choices between human and AI-generated answers. We found notable differences in choices based on gender and programming skills. Our findings show a consistent preference for AI-generated responses overall. However, when respondents were aware of the source, there was a slight tendency to choose human-generated answers, particularly among male respondents. We also analyzed the impact of programming skills on answer selection. Despite being informed about the source, participants still preferred AI-generated responses, although those with programming skills showed a slight increase in choosing human-generated answers. This difference is minor and suggests the need for further hypothesis testing. Overall, our findings indicate that prior technical knowledge does not significantly affect the likelihood of selecting AI-generated responses, as they are often viewed as equally or more reliable than human-generated ones.